Hello Roosevelt students, this is Mr. Roble. Today I'm going to be doing a video lab with you. Today's video lab is called the Ocean Currents Activity, and it looks like this. This is the general copy. If you have the accelerated copy, it looks a little bit different at the end, but the whole front side is the same. So to start off with, please pause the video and read this background information up here at the top, and then when you're done reading it, unpause the video and continue. There is one purpose up at the top. It says, I can describe how oceans and ocean currents affect climate. So there is an ocean currents map here. There's nothing that we really have to do with this. It's just trying to give you kind of an idea of where the ocean currents occur, and pay attention to how they're counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere and clockwise in the northern hemisphere. So to start with, there is some research that you have to do. This all comes right from your notes. So these 7 questions are all research questions that you get from your notes. If you don't have a copy of your notes, you're going to have to get them from your teacher or from a classmate that maybe has them filled out. On the back side, there's 2 demos that you're going to have to observe, and that's what I'm going to show you today. The first demo, you're going to sketch this. So I'll show you what it is, and you sketch that right here in part 1. You have to make sure that in that demo part that you say that the red water is fresh water and the blue water is salt water. So what I have here are 2 jars. There's nothing that's keeping, there's nothing between the 2 jars, I guess. There's the red fresh water on the top, and there's the blue water on the bottom, and that is salt water. So aside from being salt water and fresh water, the only difference is the color. So the blue one is salt water, the red one is fresh water. The temperatures are the same for the 2 bottles. And so you can see right now the salt water is on the bottom, the fresh water is on the top, and they're really not mixing it all together. They're staying separated. So there's nothing in between them keeping them separated. They're just not mixing because of a difference between them, and the difference is the salt and the fresh water. Because there's salt water and fresh water, there is also something else that's different. I'm not going to tell you what it is though, because it is an answer to one of your questions. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to put this, I got a plastic tray here that I'm going to set down in case I spill, but I'm going to flip this over, and you can see what happens when I flip this over. Something's going to happen really fast, so I'll try to hold it up to the camera so that you can see it. But you can see that something definitely happened there. All of the water that was on the top now went to the bottom, and all the water on the bottom now went to the top. So now it's all mixed together. So it's kind of a purple color. I know it looks almost black around the camera, but it's more of like a purple color. But that is part A. So for demo 1, part 1 or part A, you have to draw the 2 bottles that are sitting on top of each other, red and blue. And in the second part, you draw them like this. And again, if you ever need to pause the video to write some stuff down, or if you need to rewind or anything, go ahead and do that. Alright, this is the second part of the demo. So down at the bottom there, it's demo number 2. So you have to sketch what you see here. So I'll kind of explain what it is. Over here, this whole apparatus right here is all connected. So there's tubes here that are connected to the tubes on the end. In this box down here at the bottom, there's hot water. In this box down here at the bottom, there's cold water. And right now, you can see that this red, which is the hot water, is starting to come across this top bar. Watch what happens down here at the bottom in a second. And what I might do is pause this, because this does take a couple minutes to run. I might pause it and then allow it to run a little bit, turn it back on so you can see what happens, and maybe turn it on every 30 seconds or so. But cold water in the blue side, hot water in the red side, and you can see what's happening. So I'm going to pause it for a second and come back on in about 30 seconds and give you kind of an update as to where it's at. So here's a little bit, about 30-45 seconds later, you can see that the red is really going across the top here. Some of the red is actually coming up to the surface here, and down here the blue is starting to go across the bottom. So again, I'm going to pause it and then start it back up in a little bit. So here's about 30 seconds more. You can see the blue has gone all the way across the bottom now, and when the blue comes into the hot side, you can see that it goes down right away because it is colder. So again, I don't want to give away any of the answers, but there's something else happening besides it being colder. It's more something that we talked about. The red comes across, it goes up because it is less, again, I can't tell you what the word is, but that's it for the lab. If you have questions, ask it.